Fan Podcast. On today's episode, we are very excited to interview one of the internet's hottest girls on in the spiritual sort of category at this time. We welcome Megan from Solar Glow Meditations. Megan does distance Reiki and does Dowsing Rod questions. That's not quite the way you do it. Or the way you put it, but you've really grown in a lot of popularity just in the last few months. I've gone all the way back to the beginning of your episodes, and they're amazing. The questions that you ask and sort of the accuracy you get from these questions is super cool.
Yo, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good, thanks. I'm super excited to have you on. As soon as I saw you on, I'm like, gosh. So Lexi studied Reiki, and I know distance Reiki is something that you offer quite frequently in your videos. Are you studying the esoteric arts at the moment? And are these the two of the things that you wanted to sort of share more publicly?
Yeah, I guess Reiki is kind of where this all really started for me, but they aren't the only modalities that I've stuck with. I've also taken a clairvoyance class through a school out of Hawaii that's been fantastic, trying to just like develop my intuitive abilities and like mediumship a little bit more. So yeah, I really like doing it.
Yeah, you're really good at it, and you have a very tender way of doing things too. It's really refreshing and very authentic. Um, so I've fallen asleep to a few of your Reiki meditations.
I'm so glad. That was half the intention when I started making these. I fall asleep to them all the time, and they're just like so relaxing. I was like, I could do this. Let's give it a try.
Cool. So you were using them for yourself?
I was. I still do. I tend to listen to other people because sometimes listening to myself can be a little bit weird. But yeah, I love them.
And then is this your part-time life? Is this your side life? Do you have another life as a student or as a professionally speaking?
I do. I call it my left brain job. I do have a full-time left brain job, so this is just kind of a fun side hustle. It really started because I was looking to like just be consistent and like have some sort of cadence with my spiritual practice, and I was like, well, if I'm doing it publicly, that kind of requires a schedule and like being held accountable to an audience, and so that was kind of where it all started, with just wanting to stay accountable.
Oh.
But yes.
Very interesting. That's
yeah,
really interesting.
Totally different though. I do a lot of like data analytics and like looking at Excel spreadsheets, so this is a nice kind of counterbalance to that.
I'm curious, do you find any of it sort of interrelated?
Absolutely. Trying to figure out like how numbers kind of interconnect, and like if you see repeating numbers, I love angel numbers, so that comes up frequently like in my left brain job, or kind of figuring out where what is it, reality meets like data, and like where God kind of fits into that, because like how things work in the world, just like there's numbers and data to it, but how people act is kind of how that data gets formed. And so I feel like there's a lot of like consciousness in data, even though if it is like hard numbers.
Really interesting. We were sort of having a talk about symbols right before you got on, and a little bit about numbers, but the meaning behind those symbols and the spiritual meaning of those symbols and that sort of thing, how they play in real life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So my friend and I, for the last like 2 weeks, have been going on and on about these angel numbers. It's always like 1111 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even like look for it, but now I'm subconsciously seeing them everywhere just because I've been talking about it so much. So
yeah, that's true. Our attention is on it. So that tends to bring it out a little more.
Yeah.
Question. My daughter asked me the other day, Mom, what is zero? How can it be something if it's nothing? And I said, well, isn't it what we're assigning meaning to the idea of nothing? But is it the end or the beginning? Is it both, or what is it really? So we were trying to understand zero as a concept and as a symbol. Do you have any insight at all?
Gosh, I don't know that I do, because it's like the blank space between like here and the camera. It's like out in space in the universe where there is no light, like just is. So I don't know.
Nobody knows. Nobody really knows.
I don't think so.
That is interesting, though, that a zero is only a zero and supposed to mean nothing because we assign it that meaning, but is that truly what it is?
Yeah.
We'll have to get Robert Edward Grant on here and ask him that question. So tell us about the dowsing because that's very exciting to all of us. How did you decide on dowsing?
Okay, this is like totally cliche. I saw somebody on TikTok doing it. So I
Uh-huh.
was do this. This kind of fits within like the Reiki and spiritualness. Like, let me just try. And so I ordered a pair. They're not very expensive. They're like 10 or 15 bucks on Amazon. And I just started doing it. And when I first started doing it, it's like this, I don't know if it was like nervousness on my part, but like, I was like, is this really real? Like, am I doing this and is this happening? And so when you first start, you always want to ask like super basic questions like, are my eyes blue? Do I live in Washington State? Do I have a dog, like those kind of things, just to make sure that they're working kind of as you expect them to. And it just kind of kept working over and over again. And so, like, as I'm doing this, I'm like building this confidence in like this spirit that I'm talking to. I'm not even sure I knew who it was at the time, probably my spirit guides, but it was just like so exciting and like, oh, this is new and I like the physicalness of it. Like, I feel like when you like pray or like just talk out loud to your spirit guides, you can like ask for signs, but then you're always sort of left questioning and there's always like time lags like, hey spirit, can you show me like the number 1111? And you see it and then you're like, okay, but was I really looking for that or was that actually spirit sending me that? And I like with the rods that it's so physical and it's so immediate that you kind of get that response. So I picked it up, I loved it, and I haven't put them down since.
So did you have a guide for it? Did you have anybody teach you how to do it, or did you sort of self-teach?
I sort of self-taught. I also just started Googling like what their instructions are. And so I actually found like there's like a wiki how page for how to do it. And I was like, okay, this is basic enough. Since then, I've actually like on my blog written out instructions. This is exactly how I go through it and have had it added a little bit more detail than what kind of like the wiki article has, but
Right.
just a lot of Google.
Do you do any kind of like meditation in advance or any sort of like energy setting for yourself before you do it? Before you start asking questions?
It depends on the day. So most of the time I'll try and spend like 10 or 15 minutes like meditating ahead of like getting on camera to do like a recording. Or if I'm just doing it by myself, I tend to do it right after I get out of the shower. And so I find showers like are very meditative to me, so I don't feel like I need to do any extra energy work after that. But yeah, if I'm like coming down to record, I'll sit for like 15 minutes and I'll just kind of do like a grounding cord. I'll pull up some energy from the earth and from the cosmos and then just kind of be for a few minutes and let things kind of settle.
Yeah. You included a grounding cord meditation in your spinal work the other night.
Yes.
It was super helpful.
I'm
Oh yeah.
glad.
Yeah, I listened to it like 2 or 3 times this week, so it's really helpful.
Good. That actually was something that I picked up from the clairvoyant school. Like that's kind of clairvoyant basics is like doing a grounding cord and then pulling up earth and energy and pulling down cosmic energy. And so I've liked kind of intermixing all of these modalities, kind of how I see fit. Hopefully nobody's like horrified by that because I know sometimes folks are, but it works
Hmm.
for me. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was super effective. So, and of course, I honestly wouldn't know the difference if you're mixing modalities or not. I just found it effective and helpful. So that's all that really mattered to me.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, basically
Um,
grounding and cleansing your space and casting your circle, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so like beneficial, even if you're not like looking to do dowsing rod work. It just like before you end your day, it's a nice way to kind of wind down, I think.
hmm. So, so when you were doing the dowsing rods, was it at first? Was it just I'll just do this for myself, and I'll maybe some friends will be involved or something like that?
Yeah, so it was really just for myself to start, but because I wanted to have that kind of accountability, like I need to keep practicing. I started
Uh-huh.
just like recording myself and posting them, and then I started getting like questions from the audience. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I can like crowdsource all of these questions because I eventually ran out of like things to be creative about asking, and so yeah, it's been so fantastic.
So you're on YouTube?
I am. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Oh, okay, fine. And
Yeah,
then, so how much has your audience grown just in the last few months?
exponentially.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where I started. I think 2 months ago I had maybe 2,000 followers on TikTok. I looked a little bit earlier, I was like 110K, and that's all been within the last probably 3 to 4 weeks. It's grown from like the
No,
Hmm.
that's phenomenal.
I know. That's amazing. Was there one video that just sent it over the top?
You know what it is? I think it's politics. Every time I ask questions about politics, I always get a lot of engagement. And so I think, and I'm not trying to like
Right.
make people angry or upset by whatever the answers are because they just are what they are. But there's a lot of strong feelings about that. And so it tends to bring out more engagement in the audience. And so I think it's the politics questions that have kind of taken things off.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you have. That's really interesting though. Huh. We'll have to ask our own. I don't know that we're so concerned about politics, Lexi, right? But we do have some concerns about world safety.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so, you were very sweet to answer that, or to ask that question of the dowsing rods. One of your viewers wanted to know if the Denver Nuggets were going to win the NBA finals or something. And you're like, it says no, sorry. And I was like, wow, I have a pendulum. And when I was working with the pendulum, I'm not sure that I don't really think I used it properly. I think I was just like, okay, is this Southwest flight going to be 10 minutes late? Show me yes, show me no. And that was it. That was the end of my career with my pendulum. So I think you, in using your dowsing rods and that form of divination to be of service to others, I think that what, the good that you're putting out there, and the being of service piece is really important. Probably what, myself included, a lot of us are missing when we first start out trying these different divinatory methods.
Oh, thank you. I love that. And that's actually one thing I do try to do. Um, I'll put this out there, but just fair warning, my DMs get very backed up, especially on Instagram. But one thing I do is if folks want to reach out and ask me questions about their private life, they can send me a DM on Instagram and I'll reply. It's totally free. But I say this, my DMs are very, very, very backed up. So please forgive me if I don't get to questions, but I do try and go out there. I spend probably a half hour to an hour every night just trying to answer questions for people personally, just because folks have questions about life.
Wow, that's really amazing,
Oh,
and that's very generous of you.
thank you. Yeah, I like doing it. It's always interesting too, sort of what folks are concerned about. Like, there's always like the common themes, like, will I get this job? Will me and this person be together? Like, should I move to this place? Like, there's always those kinds of things. But then there's questions that come out of nowhere that surprise me, and I'm like, oh, I've never thought about this. Like, I had one that I recorded on a video, and I was just laughed when I read this question because I thought it was so funny, and it was like, is a hot dog a taco or something like that, or sandwich?
Right,
Is it a
right.
sandwich?
Let's see if spirit knows or cares.
What was the answer?
I think it was yes, it was a sandwich technically,
Technically. Okay.
if I'm remembering correctly. Don't quote me on this. I tend to forget these things too.
Yeah, we have to go back and look. I do remember that question, so it's a funny question, but it's like, well, is it? When you actually think about it,
I mean, it could be like a taco because it has like on three sides there's coverage. Unless you're like bun breaks, and then it could be a sandwich because then you have two, right? I don't know.
this is what spirit wants us to figure out.
This is what spirit wants us to talk about. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Exactly.
I mean, is it?
Going back to what Lexi said about this being a thing of service, it's novel, it's very interesting, but the fact that you really are asking questions to be of service to mankind, to humanity, I should say, is what's really unique about it. Because I feel that when I'm listening to that, your intention is to inform as much as it is to perhaps soothe people's anxiety or concerns.
Yes, absolutely. I do try and shy away a little bit from like doomsday questions like, is the world going to end in 10 years? Because I'm not trying to like cause fear mongering. If anything, I'm trying to help people feel better about what happens on the other side. And a lot of times it's like, has my dog passed? Are they okay? And the answer is almost always yes. Like, I've never had an answer come through and be like, no, your loved one is doing terribly on the other side. That's just not how it works, from
Right.
what I've heard. So I do really appreciate bringing people comfort that way when I can too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sorry.
I do some work with animal communicators, so I know a little bit about what you mean. So it's just I always feel people's heartbreak over those situations.
Me
So
too.
it's nice that you're able to comfort them.
Yeah.
So what questions do you have that you've never asked regarding dowsing?
You know, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of like sports betting. I'm not like super into sports, so whenever those questions come up, I'm like, I don't even know who these teams are. I'm not sure. Do you guys have questions for the rods? I have them here if you guys wanted to ask
Can
questions
we
at all.
see the dowsing rods? Can we see them?
Sure. So I've got these are just what they look like. I know a lot of folks haven't necessarily seen them up close, and I do get a lot of comments about it. But they actually have this like tube on the handle, so they can like freely spin. But yeah, if you guys want to ask questions, I'm happy to like level set, and you guys can get into it if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to, Lexi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Okay, you go first, Lexi.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
You guys
Oh,
get
that's right. We
Yeah.
have to settle.
Ground.
let's
Right.
figure out too. If you're with me and willing to answer some questions, could you cross the rods for yes? Thank you. Could you open wide for no? Thank you. Could you point to the direction of your energy? Thank you. Am I talking with Krishna today? No, thank you. Am I talking with the spirit guide? Oh, yes. Okay. Spirit guides today. Okay, so what questions do you guys have?
I want to know if the spirit guides know, if my spirit guides are around, if my pendulum fired me.
Fired you?
It like banned me from using it again. Looks
Says
like they're
no.
saying no. Okay. Do they know if I was using my pendulum for petty reasons?
With a no answer on that. I wonder if like pettiness as like a definition might be something that's not good or like intention maybe?
One more question. Can I use my pendulum again?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
It's interesting because these are always yes/no questions, so you have to be careful how you ask the questions so that it's definitive enough. Will we see what is known here as extraterrestrial existence in the year 2024 on the planet?
I don't know if that's slow no. It's a no.
Will we experience earthly human interaction with ET interaction on the planet in 2025?
Yes. Fascinating. Okay.
Fascinating. Where was humankind as we know it now, as a species, originally developed from Sasquatch, a Sasquatch-like being?
Going with no.
Good. Did alien did alien interaction with humans create hybrids that are currently living on the planet?
Yes.
Was the purpose of creating hybrids to further humanity?
Going with a slow no.
Was the purpose of creating hybrids PT's existence?
Yes.
These are the weird things I think about at night.
I love it. I've heard the same thing before, so I've been
Yeah.
curious.
It's just really interesting. Lexi, do you want to go again?
Geez, and now we're on. Okay, can it say are Diana and I hybrids? Are we alien human hybrids? Damn it.
No.
I'm so mad. I really wanted to be a hybrid. Okay.
But that's the both of us. Maybe you are and I'm not.
Okay. Dowsing rods. Am I an alien human hybrid? Yes.
Yeah. Have you interacted with before? I gotta know.
Wait. I'm not. No, I am.
No, you got a yes for Lexi, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not a hybrid. I'm something else.
They're saying yes.
Yes, she has. I mean, there's a family history of it, if that's okay to say.
Sure. Yes, yes. No, a lot
Now
of
that
us.
I've said it.
No, I mean, we all say, hey, I'm definitely not from this planet for a number of reasons. You could just be a neurodivergent person with ADHD, things like that, and you don't really fit in, or maybe your ideas, like my grandfather's, are ahead of your time. So you will say things that come just instinctively, like, oh, I must be from another planet, because you don't fit in necessarily 100% with what's going on. And so maybe you make light of it and it's kind of a joke. But when you think about it, you're like, were all of those ancestors not joking? I mean, were they just being serious and we interpreted it as a joke? I don't know. But if I am a hybrid, I definitely don't want to see any of our intergalactic friends and family harmed in any way. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
that goes back to your question, Diana, of the purpose behind the hybrid, just to keep everybody. You can't kill off the humans. You can't kill off the aliens if you don't want to harm anyone. That's sort of where I'm at.
Can we ask, are there angels living on Earth at this time?
Yes.
Whoa.
Very bad.
Are the angels becoming more and more apparent to us as we progress on Earth?
Yes.
Are angels similar to the human ET hybrid? Are there angel human hybrids?
No. Interesting.
Strictly angels.
Yes.
Interesting. Are there any angels in California?
Yes.
What about Southern California? Are there any angels in Southern California?
Yes.
Really interesting. Golly. Are angels easy for humans to see with our eyes? Or do we need, yeah, let me ask that. Can we see, let's see, how do I ask? In our current dimension of reality, are angels easy for humans to see?
Going with a slow yes. I wonder, is that dependent on the individual? Like, can some people see them more easily? Yes.
Is that dependent on their frequency?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, that's beautiful. Will California experience a massive earthquake in 2024, especially for Southern California?
That's a hard no. Thank you, Dowsing Rods.
Thank goodness. That fault line, I've heard it long overdue, right?
Will California experience a massive earthquake in the northern part of the state in 2024? Okay, for this year. Is climate change the result of human irresponsibility to the environment?
Yes.
Would we have experienced climate change anyway without the irresponsibility?
Going with no answer. Yeah.
But we're definitely experiencing it because of human irresponsibility.
Yes.
Are many of our endangered species destined to disappear in the next 10 years?
It's going with no answer. So it might be an undecided future still, or it might be something else. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So, if drastic measures were taken on planet Earth, could we reduce climate change's harm severely in the next 5 years?
Yes.
Could it take drastic measures? Will the planet experience massive starvation in the next 5 years?
No.
No. Okay. Really
Good.
interesting. Really interesting. I'm going to just ask this question because this is a little bit on people's minds at the moment due to some activity that's happened worldwide in the last week. Will the planet experience World War III in the next 2 to 3 months?
No.
Will the planet experience World War III in the year 2024?
Going with no again.
Will the planet ever experience World War III?
Going with no answer.
Maybe it's because what if you add an S? Worlds? War
Oh.
3? Is there something to intergalactic?
Oh, that's a thought.
Wait, it's saying yes to
Oh,
that.
yes.
Are you just saying yes to that because you're being kind of sassy?
Ask that again.
Okay. No, I was just, if you add an S, will there be a world's war in the future? Worlds. Intergalactic worlds.
We're still going with yes. Oh my gosh.
Good question. Okay. So will the World's War occur in the next 2 years?
No.
Do we want a timeline on that, Lexi? What do you think?
Okay. I have a question. Are some of these battles fought on the astral plane or in a dimension or timeline that we can't see with our human eyes?
Yes. Interesting.
You're onto something.
I think I don't know. Do we need to all work on ourselves and our own energy?
Yes. Well, so I wonder, if you wake up tired, were you fighting on the astral plane the night before sometimes? Yes. So you might.
Yeah, because I'm exhausted. Daily.
But that's a question people have because they feel like they've been through a war when they wake up in the morning.
Well, there's no rhyme or reason to it either. You're just tired.
Thank you, Dowsing Rods and Spirit Guides, and make it.
Can we ask about that? Because I think people are experiencing an enormous amount of exhaustion right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are many awakened human beings fighting world's wars on the astral as they sleep currently?
Yes. You might be at war and not even know it.
For sure. So, Holly, I want to know how to combat that. But is are certain souls destined to fight in the world's wars in the astral?
Yes.
Is it part of our responsibility as Earth inhabitants to raise our frequency in order to avoid a world's war in the astral?
No. Interesting.
Is it part of our responsibility as inhabitants of the Earth to raise our frequency in order to make Earth more like heaven?
Yes.
It's really interesting. So when you say your spirit guide, by the way, or it's spirit guides, do you know specifically who your spirit guides are?
I know a couple of them. So I know I had a dragon spirit guide for a little while, and I've had a dog spirit guide and a cat spirit guide recently, but I haven't met all of them, so I'm not sure.
Can we ask if it's the dragon?
Sure. Let's see. Is this my dragon spirit guide? Yeah.
Right.
I haven't seen he's back.
Do you know? So I'm curious which dragon it is. Is this an orange dragon? Is this a red dragon?
I don't know. Are you an orange dragon? No.
Are you a white dragon?
Black. So are you a black dragon?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
Is there something like to that? I don't know a whole lot about like the dragon lore and okay.
I love dragons.
I'm sure there is. I don't know what it is. Now we have to go look it up.
Either. Yeah, I don't know either. The only dragon I've seen in meditation is sort of hot pink and fluorescent yellow. So
that's amazing.
That's actually so weird. That's actually a dragon I've seen in the sky. Hot pink with like a yellow orange.
Yeah.
It's like an amber sort of thing behind it.
You know what's super interesting? The more people that we meet in this space, the more a lot of times you will have seen similar things in dreams, in meditation, just in symbols in life. And at first you think, it's a coincidence. Somebody planted that in my mind, or I had this on the brain. So I just wanted to have seen something too. So I agreed with them, but not necessarily, because there is a whole other multiple other planes of existence, that are accessible to all humans. So some of these symbols, some of these guides and creatures and places and things, if you think you've been there, you probably have. You've probably seen it.
Driving down the street the other day, I had a dream about a crystal shop, and I drove right past the place that I know that's where my dream took place. I've never been there before in my life, and it's not a crystal shop now, but I was like, this is where I was. It was so weird.
Oh, interesting. So in your dream, the shop that you drove by was a crystal shop, but it's not now.
Yeah, now it's like a dance studio or something like that, but it was very
Oh,
strange.
that's so interesting. So now we have to find out about black dragons also, since you have the black dragon as your spirit guide.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is your black dragon a guide from a previous life or a parallel life?
Yes.
I have to ask this. Was Megan royalty in a parallel or previous life?
Yes.
There's a whole story unfolding here.
I'd love to know more about my past lives too. I've done some of those like past life regression sessions, and I have had one where they brought out a royal life. So I'm not entirely surprised, but that's so cool.
That was my sense when the dragon came out. I was like, I think the dragon was maybe even part of a pair of dragons to protect you during royalty, when you were serving in a royal capacity.
Oh my
What's
gosh.
that? I guess you should ask.
Yeah, you should. You can almost see it on a crest, like on a family crest. Mm-hmm.
Black Dragon, were you a guide and protector to Megan when she was serving in a royal capacity?
Yes.
Black Dragon, did you have a twin that also served to Megan when she was in a royal capacity?
Do you like do clairvoyance work or like intuitive stuff? Because I'm amazed.
I do sometimes. It just kind of pops up. I will see things, or I'll see it. I'll sort of met a girl yesterday at the gym, who's one of the gym membership girls, and she was trying to sign me up for something, and I said, "Don't you really just want to be an actress?" And she's like, "Yes." And she had just gotten sober. She's living in a halfway house, and she said, "I'm dying to be an actress, but I'm trying to keep a steady job so I can keep my life steady, because of course being an actress is not a steady life." But anyway, I could just tell right away that's what I could feel it. I'm like, she's an actress. That's who she really is. And then she went on about how her grandmother had told her since practically the day she was born that she was going to be an actress. Anyway, so yes, sometimes I see stories sort of unfolding in my mind
Oh
as
my god,
I'm
we
in.
both shifted. This is so cool.
Diana
So
goes into that meditative state, and the black dragon is obviously a thing. And it seems as though, in addition to dowsing rods, maybe there's some research with family crests, maybe in the Great Britain area. Do later.
let's ask. Let's ask. Was Meghan a queen in of the royal line in the UK in her parallel life?
Meghan part of a family of nobility in Europe in a former life.
Yes. Okay.
So at least we have Europe. Not necessarily the UK area, but could be, France, Normandy.
Are you Welsh?
Denmark is like the origins I know about, at least in this body. I don't know about other bodies necessarily.
Right, right. I know. How interesting. Black Dragon, did you help? I want to ask this. I'm curious what your role was. Black Dragon, was Meghan a queen in her royal lineage in a parallel life?
Yes.
Black Dragon, did you help Meghan fight wars during her royal life?
Yes. Interesting.
So cool.
Ooh, I'm getting Targaryen vibes.
Oh.
Right? From Game of Thrones. What? Game of Thrones?
Oh.
House of the Dragon? The dragons?
Right, but that's make believe. Well, who knows?
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not. All right, sorry. Sure. Let's just call it make believe. Okay, as you were saying, Diane, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm curious, since we're talking about dragons, and that's something that's kind of come on, that I've felt has come online recently. Black Dragon, are there many other dragons currently living on the planet at this time as guides or protectors of individuals here?
Yeah.
Will it become, will dragons become more readily easy for humans to see in this dimension, in this year?
Yes. That's exciting. I want to see one.
I know. Black dragon, are you bigger than a house?
Yes.
Black dragon, are you bigger than a football field?
What is football?
No.
Somewhere between a house and a football field. Huh. Black dragon, are you always with Megan?
Oh.
Black dragon, do you help guide Megan in her studies of the esoteric and spiritual?
Yes.
Black dragon, do you have a name?
Yes.
We'll have to find out.
I know.
Black dragon, is your twin dragon with Megan also all the time? Wow.
That's so
That's
cool.
cool.
I feel so special. Like, that's
You
awesome.
are. You have two dragons hanging around all the time. Don't mess with Megan. Don't be
Do
messing
not.
with Megan. Okay. I'm gonna be selfish. Black dragon, do I have a dragon guide?
Yes.
Black dragon, do I have two dragon guides? You're cool. We're cool. Black dragon, do I have one very large orange and fuchsia dragon?
Yes.
Black dragon, does my dragon come with Metatron?
Yes.
Yeah. So Metatron, I believe, is one of my guides. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been told that anyway. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask. Oh, thank you. I guess so. This is wild. Black dragon, does Lexi have a dragon as a guide?
Yes.
Is Black Dragon is let's see here. Is there anything
There we go.
sorry. Okay.
She zapped it out. Good job, Lexi.
I'm sorry. I know. Well, I was going to ask because sometimes Black Dragon, sometimes when my cats land on my bed in the middle of the night, it feels like a tiny dragon touching down. Are there similarities to cats and dragons?
Yes.
Yes,
So Lexi rescues cats.
I do.
Aww.
I do. And the more time I spend with them, the more they remind me of dragons.
Interesting.
That's so awesome. I love that.
I feel like Black Dragon really has something to say, though. How do we help Black Dragon? Is there a reason that you're coming through Black Dragon? Is what you want to communicate why you're here today instead of one of the other guides that works with Megan?
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a message that's supposed to be shared through us today. Is that okay, Black Dragon? Is there a particular message you want to share to the universe through us?
Yes. I wonder what it is.
Black Dragon, is your message related to war?
Black Dragon, is your message related to peace?
Yes.
Slow though. Let's be more specific.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Is it related to love? Yes.
Black Dragon, is it related to romantic love?
No.
Black Dragon, is your message about love related to the future of humanity?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is your message of love related to our current state on the earth?
Yes.
Black Dragon, do we lack love on the planet right now?
Yes.
Black Dragon, do we lack love for ourselves?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is part of our job as human beings to love ourselves more.
Yes.
Black Dragon, is part of our job as human beings to love each other more.
Yes.
Black Dragon, do these gestures or acts of love have to be big?
No.
Black Dragon, can these gestures or acts of self-love or love for the greater good, can these be very small?
Yes.
Black Dragon, do these acts of love relate to animals, plants, and the earth in general?
Yes.
Black Dragon, must we love the environment more?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is war necessary?
No.
Black
Black
Dragon, if
Dragon,
we... Go ahead.
go ahead. I was just going to say, do we each, Black Dragon, do we each of us have what we need to be of service or maybe perform some acts of love in some way? Do we have what we need, each of us? Yes.
Is Black Dragon, is our primary purpose on Earth as individuals? It's our primary purpose to love one another and to love the planet and the animals.
Yes.
If we love one another, the planet, and the animals, will we have fulfilled our mission on Earth?
Going with no answer.
Mm.
Ooh,
More to it than just love? Yes. Okay.
is that part of the message you're trying to share with us today, Black Dragon? That it's more than just love?
Yes.
Is there another component that we as human beings need to be sure we share with one another?
Yes.
Is that component acceptance of one another?
Yes.
Is that the only component in addition to love that we need in order to fulfill our mission on the planet?
No.
No, we got love and acceptance.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Black Dragon, do we just need to share with each other more? Do we need to share resources?
Yes.
That's a beautiful message.
It really is. You guys are like arguing right now.
I know. Black Dragon, if we love without judgment, is that also part of our mission?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is part of our responsibility as humans on Earth to share. I need to re-ask it. Black Dragon, is part of our responsibility as humans on Earth to share with great abundance with one another, to share generously.
Yes.
That might be the missing piece. Is that the missing piece?
Wow.
Yes.
Black Dragon, if we share generously with one another, will we always be in abundance?
Yes.
If we share generously with one another, will we always be in wealth?
No.
No. Interesting.
Yeah. Wealth and abundance are different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
Black Dragon, is there a group of individuals, by whatever name, that may have a distinctly different agenda than the one you just described, that is currently in control of the planet?
Yes.
Is it, Black Dragon, is it the exact opposite of the agenda you just described to us that's our mission?
Yes.
Ooh, I got chills.
So that's the flip side of all this, is that and I'll just ask, Black Dragon, is that group, whatever name or another name, currently in control of the planet?
Yes.
Black Dragon, are you here to help us as well as other individuals who have dragon protection to regain control of the earth for the reasons you've just said was our agenda?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is it possible for us to regain control of the earth in the next 5 years?
No
Earth
answer.
years? The next 5 Earth years? Still no.
Still no. I wonder if it's undecided still. Is it not set in stone yet? Yes.
Well, we have to agree to actually carry this agenda out, first of all.
Yeah.
Hello. Black Dragon, if Earthlings do not accept this agenda and carry this mission forward, will this other group, of whatever name it is, succeed in their mission, their own mission, to destroy the Earth?
No.
I'm going to ask that differently. Black Dragon, if we do not follow the agenda that we've just discussed as Earthlings, will the other group successfully control human beings on this planet?
Yes.
Black Dragon, Is this other group already in control of us?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, and we're so independent. Huh. Black Dragon, does this particular group use the earth and animals and humans for their own benefit and resources currently?
Yes.
My question is how do we change things?
Black Dragon, can we change things?
Yes.
Well, he's sharing a message to us here today. So what has to be a way for him or him or her. Black Dragon, are you male or female? Are you a male?
Yes.
Black Dragon, is your twin a female?
No.
Two male dragons. Megan, you're powerful. Black Dragon, do communications like the ones that Lexi and I do and the one that Megan does that help shift the planet into this agenda that is our mission?
Yes. Love that.
Dragon, is it possible for us to adopt this agenda in the next 5 years?
Yes.
So that was 2029. Black Dragon, is this part of the 2030 plan?
No.
No.
Black Dragon, do we have a choice in every moment of our days whether or not we want to be in alignment with love? Okay. Yes.
I was like, yes, before you even finished.
Wow.
So not only in the next 5 years, but in every moment, we have a choice.
Yes.
So I keep giving it a timeline, right, Lexi? So, but what you're saying is if we change in this very moment, can that shift everything all at once?
Yes, forwards and backwards.
Yeah. It always comes back to me, like, I keep saying this over and over, but time isn't real. So it
Right.
makes sense.
Right. I mean, I'm communicating in sort of a human way, so like we can track this, right? Spreadsheet, but we could shift this in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Black Dragon, could we shift this in a moment? If we all sort of simultaneously shifted, would that shift things for good?
Yes.
Wow. Black Dragon, can shows like mine and Lexi's and Megan's and other communications like this, whether it's a concert or a podcast or an event, can that shift things immediately?
Yes.
Huh. Well, we only have 8 billion people on the planet, so that's a Black Dragon. Does it require that all 8 billion people on the planet shift at the same time?
No.
Black Dragon, do we just need a certain percentage, a critical mass to reach some sort of point of alignment?
No.
So it's not everyone. It's not a percentage.
Does it just be yourself? Can one person do it?
Oh,
Wow.
That's powerful.
yeah, we're that important.
Yes.
Really? So Black Dragon, when Megan's out for a walk, if she shifts, which I know you carry this in your soul anyway, Megan, but if you shift into this frequency and on this agenda, can her shift alone shift the whole world?
Yes. But a very slow yes.
Helps to have friends doing the same thing.
Black Dragon, does that have to do with the idea that we're all energy?
Yes.
Black Dragon, are you getting tired? I've been answering a lot of questions. Oh, I forgot. You're a dragon. You don't get tired. I didn't mean to insult you. You're not limited by human energy levels.
I don't think he was insulted. I think he's fine.
Okay.
I'm not getting like any vibes of annoyance or anything.
Okay.
Black Dragon, are there other messages that you would like to share with us today?
No. Okay.
You might be getting worn out, Megan. So, do you get tired from doing this? You must.
I do. I try and keep my videos to like 20, 25 minutes or less because any more than that, my arms get really tired. But no, this is great.
This was beautiful. Thank you, Megan. And thank you, Black Dragon, for your message of hope
Yeah.
and empowerment for each of us, and that we don't have to do anything big. We can start small, and we can start at any moment.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for having me today. It was great chatting with you both. This is fun. I like doing this with other folks too. So it's just nice to talk with like-minded folks and be out in the world.
It is. And this was really profound.
Me too. I didn't know I had a second dragon.
I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool, girl. I'm going to stop recording.